Hi, y'all. So I just had a brief conversation with somebody. Nothing super important, but you know me. I ponder a lot of stuff. I let things, marinate. And this person says something, and I headed to my car. I'm in my car, and what the person essentially did, the meat and potatoes didn't matter. It was the concept. Is that it wasn't. They made a simple mistake. Not a big deal, not a big mistake. I surely wasn't gonna bend them over and beat them like a stepchild. And this person immediately pawned off the blame. And the lesson for that, and thankfully I learned this lesson a long time ago, not long enough. But it's self-responsibility, People that have known me for a while and that work with me, especially in my Outback days, because that happened to be one of the principles and beliefs, and one of the commitments. Know that was my favorite one, self-responsibility. And why? Because I used the poor little me card many times through my life as I was younger. And I used it, I didn't grow up in the best places. My mother worked a lot. A lot of people complain that their mothers were on welfare. Well, mine wasn't. Mine worked, 2 and 3 jobs. And my father died and yada, yada. Oh, man, I had poor little me all over my resume growing up. And so my blame game was strong. Anything that I did, it was because I didn't have a father, because my mom wasn't there, because of where I came from. This, that, the other. It was never my fault. I was never to blame, to take blame. And I did, and I've shared this many a times with people, but I did an exercise, and it was, I don't even recall, I don't remember anything else in the book, but it was about, I believe it was a student of Don Miguel Ruiz, the gentleman that wrote the 4 Agreements, and the young lady wrote a workbook, which was cool because, like I was saying earlier, it's all about being an executioner. It's all about being a practitioner. Knowledge is just not enough. Doing it's what's important. And maintaining it. So there was this part that said, write an apology letter to the person who's done you the most harm, the most wrong in your life. I don't know how hard that is for you, but for me, that was extremely hard. Many people have done me wrong, but if I go for the person that's done me the worst wrong, it's pretty wrong. And I'm using the word pretty very loosely there. So I remember having many papers all crumbled up on the floor from me writing this apology letter, and all of a sudden it became very angry, and I realized that's not an apology. So I would crumble it up, throw it on the paper, on the floor. And so just picture 30 pieces of paper on the floor, me writing, and me getting mad, starting all over. My point is that at one point, I got the aha moment. At one point, I truly took responsibility for it. I took responsibility for what that person done to me, which is crazy. You think about it in your life. Why has the worst thing that anybody's ever done you wrong and try to take responsibility for that. So it's not easy. And I did. And I had to do it that one time. One time. I never sent that letter, but I got the point. You know, I folded the letter and I threw it in the trash. And I picked up the other 30-something pieces of paper from the trash. And my point is that very few times that I ever think about that incident. And never again did that give that person the power. Because once I took responsibility, once I genuinely apologized for something they did to me, it was my responsibility, it was my fault, I was able to put it behind me and let go and forgive myself for that. I can never forgive them. I damn sure can never forget them. But all my life, that monkey was in the back of my head, and it engulfed me in anger and resentment, and I just feel like if I wasn't a good human being with that hanging over my head. And once I took responsibility, I was able to let go and move forward lighter. So that's just one example of how important I feel of self-responsibility. You know, as a leader, as a leader at work, or as a leader, as a father, or as a friend, you know, once if you make a mistake, hey, that's how we learn, right? A lot of people think, oh man, I made a mistake now. You know, I rarely learn from doing the right thing. I generally learn from making mistakes. That sticks a lot better. So you make a mistake, if you own it, you say, my apologies, I'll work on that. My apologies, my bad. You know, I'm sorry. You know, that won't happen again, or anything like that. Chances are we're learning and we're moving past that. As soon as, oh, well, it was such and such. Oh, well, such and such taught me. Oh, well, I was trained this way. Oh, well, this person said this. You know, and we know a lot of people like that. And unfortunately, they're going to continue to be that way because they're not taking responsibility. You know, I can't stand the people that say, oh, well, this person told me that way. Oh, this person trained me that way. And we've known those people all our lives. And unfortunately, they are going to aggravate the heck out of you if you're a leader, because it means that you're going to have to deal with this over and over and over and over again, all because they will not take full responsibility. Some take a half-ass responsibility. Oh, my bad. You know, he told me to do it this way. You know, I should have known better. You know, it's a half-ass responsibility taken, right? Regardless, you're going to deal with that again. But as soon as you take responsibility for your actions, everything works out better. You know, my children, if my children, you know, fess up and say they did something, you know, 85%, they're still going to pay the consequences. I'm sorry. That's I teach my kids nothing in life if I don't have them pay for consequences. You know, however, I'm going to respect them and knock off probably 85% of that punishment because I appreciate the honesty. You know, unfortunately, I've been trying to figure this out for years and I haven't. But kids lie. Kids just lie. And you don't have to beat them. You know, I understand if you beat a child and, you know, did you do that? No, I didn't do that. Blah, 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 blah. You know, great. I get it. The human mind is trying to save you and If you think you're gonna get your ass whooped, but if a kid's never gotten their ass whooped, or if the kid's never been beaten, anything scary or negative, like, I don't know, kids just lie. I'm still trying to figure that one out. However, taking responsibility is ultra important. Of course, if you learn it from an early age, super important, but at least the kids got an excuse. They're immature, they're kids. We as adults not taking responsibility, I don't get it. Ain't nobody gonna bend me over and beat me like a stepchild. Ain't nobody gonna fire me because I take responsibility. Ain't nobody gonna kick me out because I take responsibility. Ain't nobody gonna spit on me because I take responsibility. I don't get it. I don't understand. So please, lesson of the day, take full responsibility. Or as one of my favorite people, Jocko Willing, him and his buddy wrote a book many years ago, really great read, called Extreme Ownership. And that's a good one. Extreme ownership. Take full responsibility. Take extreme ownership over what happens to you and what comes from you. And you will have a more fulfilled life. People will respect you a heck of a lot more. You'll move forward a lot faster. And I guarantee you, it's a good thing for your life. Love ya.